Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. I, Mrs. Hina Shafiq, your supervisor ma'am, welcome you all on behalf of Nurul Islam Niswa School for the session 2021-22. You all know that there has been a rise in the COVID cases. So we are once again conducting online classes. So this time you have to take up these classes very sincerely and not waste your time as you had done in the last session. You have to utilize every bit of it. And for sorting out and solving your problems, teachers are available in school. You have to follow the daily timetable and maintain a routine of listening to all the lectures carefully and then completing your written work regularly. Class 8, I shall be teaching you biology and chemistry in this session. So let's get started with lesson number 1 in biology, that is transport of water, minerals and food in plants. So please open your books, lesson number 1. So we know that you have seen the plant does not move, isn't it? It cannot eat its food nor can it drink water on its own as we humans are doing or the animals are doing. So there should be a system through which they can use the food that has been synthesized by the leaves by the process of photosynthesis, or the water that has been absorbed by the roots can be utilized by all the parts of the plant. That is, both food and water have to be transported inside the plant. So we will be discussing all this in this chapter, how this transport takes place. So let's move on. Now you have been studying in science that all the green plants, they are green just because of the presence of a pigment which is called as chlorophyll, isn't it? And this green color or this green pigment is of great use to plants. That is, they can make their own food by a process which is called as photosynthesis. We all know the process by which the plants prepare the food, that is called as photosynthesis. Is it clear? This is the process which is known as photosynthesis. So what do the plants do? How are they able to synthesize or manufacture the food? What all does it need? That is, they use carbon dioxide, that is CO2, and water, both, to prepare its food. Is it clear? And carbon dioxide is coming from where? It is coming from the atmosphere. Is that clear? And it is entering the leaves through pores which are known as stomata. And it also needs water. Water is coming from where? It is the water that has been absorbed by the roots from the soil. Is it clear? So this water needs to be carried to the leaves and other parts of the plant. So in short, if you sum up, how is the process of photosynthesis taking place? That is, it is taking place with the help of carbon dioxide and water. Carbon dioxide is coming from the atmosphere and water is coming from the roots. Is that clear? Which has been absorbed through the soil, and these two combine together to form the food for the plant. And what do they give out? The plants give out oxygen, which we humans are inhaling. So this process takes place in the presence of chlorophyll. That is, all the green plants. Non-green plants are not able to synthesize their food, and this takes place in the presence of sunlight. Now the food has been prepared by the plant, by the leaves of the plant, and the water that has been absorbed by the root. Water, does it remain only in the root, or the food that has been prepared by the leaves, does it remain only in the leaves? If that would have been the case, then the plants wouldn't have been able to survive. The food and water are needed to be transported to each and every cell of the plant. For this, what do they need? They need a transport system. Is it clear? So, I have just told you that the carbon dioxide is entering through the atmosphere through these pores. You can see these pores, right? These are known as the stomata. These are the stomata, these are the pores. Exactly the pore that you can see in black, which is present in between these two cells. Of course, the detail of this pore you will study in detail in higher classes. So, this is the place, or this is the space that is present inside. Pore is what? The space that is present through which the air will enter, the carbon dioxide will enter, and the carbon dioxide and water will come in contact with it. They will react together and form the glucose, which is the food for the plants. Is that clear? So, these are the pores which open and close. So, leaf is the part of the plant which prepares the food for the rest of the plant. So, whatever food that has been prepared by the leaves also needs to be transported to all the parts of the plant. I have just told you. So, all plants need a transport system. Is that clear? And this transport takes place in two ways, that is the transport of water and minerals which has been absorbed by the roots, and it has to move to all the parts of the plant, that is leaves, flowers, buds, everywhere, stem, especially the leaves where the food has to be prepared. Then the transport of food has to take place, and this transport has to be from the leaves to all the parts of the plant. Is it clear? So, whatever the leaves foods that the leaves prepare, or the water that has been absorbed by the roots, it has to move from one part of the plant to another. So, in animals we have a well developed transport system, which we know in the form of the blood vascular system or the circulatory system. But in plants we do not have a well developed, the plants do not have a well developed transport system. And when we talk about the unicellular plants or the single celled plants like the Chlamydomonas, the diagram that you can see over here, this is Chlamydomonas, and the simple multicellular plant like the Spirogyra, the transport of substances takes place through diffusion, and this diffusion is the movement from a higher concentration area to a lower concentration area, and this takes place to the through the cell wall of the plants. Is that clear? That is, movement takes place, just in and out, exchange of gases takes place, or the exchange of substances takes place through the diffusion process. That is, when the concentration or the amount of the particular solute is more inside, then it moves outside, and if it is less inside, then the movement is vice versa. So, we will discuss this also in detail afterwards. So, when we talk about the multicellular plants, that is the plants which are many celled, it is carried out by special conducting tissues which are known as xylem and phloem. So, there are two transport systems, one that transports water and minerals from roots to all other parts of the plant, and these vessels are called as the xylem vessels. Is it clear? And the other one is that through which the food that has been prepared by the leaves, it moves to other parts of the plant. These are the phloem vessels. Is that clear? So, in total, that is, when you sum up, this transport system is also known as, or the xylem and phloem are also called as the vascular tissue or vascular bundle. They are known as the vascular tissue or the vascular bundle, VASCULAR. Is it clear? So, you can say that the transport in a multicellular plants takes place through special conducting tissues which are known as the xylem and phloem, and xylem and phloem are collectively called as the vascular tissue or vascular bundles. So, what is the arrangement of these tissues in plants? You can see the diagram in your book also, that the vascular tissue, it is extending from the root tip, from the roots they are running throughout the whole length of the plant, that is from the root tip to the shoot tip of the plant. Is that clear? To each and every shoot tip also. So, they form a tube like system that you can see running here and there everywhere throughout the whole length and breadth of the plant, and the cells of the xylem and phloem, they form long tubes for transportation of material to all parts of the plant. You can see this all arrangement which is connected throughout the whole length of the plant. Is that clear? So, you can see this is the stem of the plant, and this is the xylem, and here the food which has been made from the leaf, it is transported to all the parts of the plant, that is through the phloem. So, let us discuss in detail about these conducting tissues or the vascular tissues. Now, xylem, you can see in the diagram, it is a complex conducting tissue. It is concerned with the process of transport. So, it is known as a conducting tissue, and it is made up of 4 types of cells, that is vessels, tracheids, parenchyma and xylem fibers. Is that clear? So, you can see in the diagram, they are xylem fibers, tracheids, xylem parenchyma and vessels. Now, all these, that is except the xylem parenchyma, that is you have the xylem tracheids, fibers and vessel, all other cells are dead. That all these 3 cells, that is xylem parenchyma, is only living, and vessels, tracheids and xylem fibers are dead tissue. So, out of the 4 types of cells in the xylem, only xylem parenchyma is living, rest are dead. Now, the cells of the xylem are thick walled. All the cells are thick walled. Now, you can see in the diagram that these are thick walled, and the vessels are long tube like structures. They form long tube like structures. These are vessels. Is that clear? The vessels, and they are form of row of cells placed end to end. Is that clear? You can see one cell, then the second cell, and then the third cell. They are placed end to end, that is one stacked over the other, and whatever end wall is there, that dissolves, that is it forms a continuous channel. For instance, when we are seeing this, that means if suppose this is the first cell, next is the second cell, then the third cell, vessel cell, then there is a wall in between. This wall dissolves and form a continuous channel as if it is a single tube. Is that clear? So, and they form a continuous hollow tube which are open at both ends, and these walls have a deposition of lignin, that is it is which makes it strong. Walls are they have strength, and they are more stronger by the deposition of this layer of lignin, and this is the substance which provide mechanical support. Is that clear? It gives support to the xylem tissue or the xylem vessels. So, what is the function of this? They transport water and minerals laterally and vertically. That is laterally, that is sideways like this to all the parts of the plant, and vertically means upward, straight. Is that clear? Next is the next part, that is tracheids. These are long and narrow. You can see in the diagram that is given in your book, they are long and narrow cells that taper at both ends, that is they are tapering, that is they become thin as they move further, like this, tapering. They are not of the same type as the vessels, they form hollow tubes, but here these tracheids, they taper, that is they become thinner on sides, at the ends they are thinner, and they also have a deposition of lignin, and they help in the upward conduction of water and provide mechanical support. The same function, that they are also helping in the transport or movement of water, and also helping in the mechanical support, giving strength to the xylem tissue. Is that clear? Then what is the function of the xylem fibers? They also long and narrow, sclerenchymatous cell. Then sclerenchymatous Sclerenchyma tissue you have studied in detail, such type of tissues. It is end to end like this. This type of tissue is there, which you all you studied, and they taper at both the ends. Again they become thin on the ends, they taper, become pointed. That is, they provide mechanical support. That is, all these tissues that which are dead, that is whether it is vessels, tracheids or fibers, they are providing mechanical support, and out of which vessels and tracheids also, apart from providing support, they also helping in the conduction of water. Vessels are helping in the lateral and vertical conduction, while tracheids are aiding in the upward conduction of water. Is that clear? Then the xylem parenchyma, just because they are living cells, they have thin cell walls. So what if they are living? That means they will be providing nutrition or nourishment to this tissue, that is to keep it alive. There should be something to maintain the structure and function of the xylem tissue. So the element of the xylem which is helping in this is xylem parenchyma. They store food and they help in the conduction of water and minerals. Is it clear? So I have just told you the functions of vessels, tracheids, xylem fiber and their structure. And the xylem parenchyma, it is the living part of the xylem tissue, and they are thin cell walls, and they store food and they also help in the conduction of water and minerals. Is it clear? If we sum up all these functions collectively, we can say that xylem has 3 functions. I just told you that it carries water and minerals upwards from the roots to the leaves through tracheids and vessels. Just told you that they are helping in the upward conduction of water, and apart from the upward conduction, also laterally also they are conducting water, and they are providing mechanical support to plants, and xylem parenchyma stores food. Is that clear? So the functions that is the xylem parenchyma stores food, and the rest of the elements provide mechanical support. Apart from this, they are helping in the transport or conduction of water laterally and both vertically. Then there is an activity on page number 8, that is to show that xylem conducts water in plants. For this, what do? We take eosin in a tumbler and dissolve water in it, and then we place a plant in it, leave the setup for about half an hour, and now what do we see? That there are streaks of red color on the leaves. Then we take off the stem, then cut a thin section. You can see how the section is cut with the blade, and then we see these section under the microscope. So what do we see? That when we observe this section that I have shown in the procedure, that after dissolving eosin in a glass tumbler which has water, the water turns red, and then putting a soft stem plant in that, and then leaving the setup for about half an hour, and then we take out the stem and cut a thin slice or thin section, and then when we observe this under the microscope, what do we see? We see this kind of structure. So this structure that you can see, this is a slice or section of stem, and the stained part, that is the red part that you can see, is the xylem tissue. You can see that red color has reached the xylem. That means water has reached the xylem, and the transport of water, that the red water that you can see in the tumbler, is through the which tissue? It is through xylem. Red color cannot be seen anywhere else, just in the xylem tissue. So we can conclude that the portion of the vascular tissue that contains xylem is stained red, and xylem is responsible for conduction of water in plants. Is it clear? So I hope you have understood whatever I have taken up today. Please revise the chapter. We will proceed on with the rest of the chapter in the next turn. Allah Hafiz.